Hey guys, it's Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man, and today I'm coming from my F35air.com site. This is where I offer kits for the Whirlpool Duet, Kenmore Elite, and the Maytag Epic. If you're getting the F35 Air or the Sud Air, you can find out more information about those and what you can do to correct those. And just go to F35air.com. And today we're going to look at a stove. This is a Kenmore Elite stove, and the model number was 790-9280-4012. And the complaint was the oven was not working. Everything else worked. The stove tops worked, clock, everything else seems to work. Just the oven would barely heat up at all, and it would take forever as well. So we're going to take a look. We want to unplug it first, and the first checks I typically do is look at the elements and the wiring condition to make sure that no wires overheated at the element terminals, because if those quick connect terminals get they go bad over time, if they get loose, that can cause high temperatures there, and then that can melt the wire, and then that will make break that connection. So I checked that. I checked the power block at the bottom where the AC comes in, because sometimes you get a bad connection down there and a wire will burn, or just the terminal block itself might be something wrong with that. So I checked that as well, and everything looked good. I didn't see any burnt spots or anything. So I thought, well, I'm going to look at the control board. So here's the control board, and I suspected after I looked around, you could hear the relays clicking when the indicator would show between the bake and the broil elements. It'd toggle back and forth, and you can hear relays clicking. So I didn't think it was a control board issue. But if you look, they have two boards here. They have the control board is in the background, and they have the power board on the top. It's actually stacked. And there's your transformer, some capacitors. So this is the power supply portion. Then you've got relays. These four relays here control the elements on the stove top. This is the big one. This is one I thought we had a problem with, because this red wire is one leg of the 240. And then this orange wire went down to both the bake and broil elements. So I suspected that this connection wasn't being made, because this relay will short these two together when you want to turn on the elements. And then we got to looking around, and I had to take the board off. So these are an interesting connector. You have this it's like a U clip. So you got to take your needle nose, pull in and pull out just to get it past this little ledge here, and then you can pull it out. There's what the clip looks like when it's out. That's the first time I've seen this type of clip for a standoff. And once you get that clip out, you can actually push these two tangs together, and then that will let the board pop out. And you can see this plastic boss right here. This comes through. It's an alignment tool. When you go to put this board back in, you're going to have this thing lined up, because you put the board down here first, this edge, and then you pivot the board up, and you have to make these connectors will come through this. These are like a through the board connector, and we'll have to see, take a look at that, because that's the first time I've had to deal with those too. So here's another picture of the board. I've got the little U-clips removed. I'm getting ready to take the board out now. So I want to look at the back of the board just to check out the solder joints, and then, well, look what I found. This is on that black relay that switches the orange and red wire. So it's hard to tell if this was this way from the factory. This machine's about 4 years old, and if I was just this solder joint here looks good, and these look good, lots of solder. So I'm not sure why this did this. I don't see any evidence of solder running down, so it looks like this was bad from the factory. It just worked 4 years, and finally you got enough oxidation inside here that it's making a bad connection, and that's why those elements would not heat up. So I just touched it up with some solder, and there's the control board. There's that 18-pin connector I was telling you about. You don't want to bend those pins. You want to try to make sure you keep those pins straight, because they're hard to get straightened out once you bend those things. But there's three of these. So the board will actually go behind here. There's three tabs across the front. And then you got to make sure that this boss is lined up with the hole in the board, and that will allow that board to pivot back up toward the top. And these have to come through. So it was a little tricky, but here you see I got them all back in. There's all 18 pins coming through, and you got this boss lined up with the hole. And we'll put it all back together. And we were heating up now, 258. That's, I think they said they can get to like 120 or so. I think the convection element was working, and it was barely heating up anything. So these are the big elements that really heat up the oven: the bake and the broil. So this is Jeff Hartman with F35Air.com, and I hope this was helpful. And remember, just safety first. If you're working on these things and you want to make sure you're safe, and if you're unsure about doing this type of repair, you will want to find somebody who can help you, or call in a professional is another option. And I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments below. Thank you. Bye bye.